Please, can we have a roll call?
Councilman Simaluka.
Here.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Here.
Councilwoman D'Arminio.
Here.
Councilman Accomando.
Here.
Council President Camilleri.
Here. We're going to stand for salute to the flag, and we're going to please remain standing in honor of Memorial Day and Lillian Sedekase. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Adequate notice of this meeting has been sent to all council members on May 27, 2016, and to all legal newspapers in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
The public is hereby advised that any statements made during a meeting of the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook may not be privileged or protected, and that persons or entities who take issue with such comments or are offended by same may and have in the past sought legal redress through the courts. Any member of the public who addresses the council speaks for themselves and not for the council.
Okay, now we're going to have some presentations. I'm just going to turn it over real quick to Councilwoman Flo Mazer.
Thank you, Council President. Good evening, everyone. For the past 16 years, as I've had been fortunate to sit up here as your councilwoman, I have been offering a scholarship to a graduating Saddlebrook resident, whether it be at Saddlebrook High or any of the parochial schools. So this evening, it is my proud privilege to award, I have 3 recipients in the audience. Actually, I had an additional 11 also, which I really have to give an honorable mention to all of them when I'm finished. But tonight I'll be awarding 3 $500 scholarships to these 3 young ladies. These aren't in any type of order, so when I open it up, whichever name comes first, comes first. They all did an awesome job. They really did. And basically what I did ask, the criteria for it is that they write a 500-word or more essay on how to better improve community service among young adults. And what I took from actually all of them was basically is that I believe we have to include it in the curriculum somewhere. And this way they'll be part of the community for years and years to come, and hopefully someday be sitting in the mayor's seat. Council, anything. But once again, we have a great crew. Really, we should be proud of these children that are graduating. They are awesome, and their community service hours are impeccable. It's amazing how they can do all of this community service and yet maintain these honor roll status. We really owe them a round of applause, really. First, actually, I have Ashley. I have yours first. Ashley Vitella.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I had asked Ashley, I'm not going to ask them to read their essays, but I did mention to them if they would just mention some of their community service hours.
Well, I've been involved in community service ever since I was little with my church, and ever since then I've been doing it ever since, and a lot of my community service has been done with my brother's organization from Kessler and everything too. So I just want to thank Flo Mazer for giving me this because it's going to help a lot. I plan on attending Montclair and going into early education, so this will really help me. Thank you.
And next is Hope Gatto.
First, I would like to thank Councilwoman Mazer, and I volunteer through the Saddlebrook Volunteer Ambulance Corps with Girl Scouts and through the Brook County Sheriff's Office Youth Leadership Academy. I'll be attending John Jay College of Criminal Justice, and I'll be studying criminal justice. So.
All righty, and Carissa.
All right, so first of all, again, thank you.
My name's Carissa. A lot of the volunteering I do is through my church. I teach TCD. I also coach rec basketball here in the town. And I'm president of the National Honor Society and the president of the Science National Honor Society. So a lot of volunteer work I do through there, tutoring, setting up blood drives, helping out blood drives, and all that fun stuff. So, yeah.
Through my college.
Next year I'm going to be majoring in biology at William Patterson University as part of their honors college. So,
I have to say, they are being quite modest because they have pages and pages and hours of community service. We are so very proud of each and every one of you, and we wish you all the best. Thank you.
Now I'll turn it over to our mayor and chief, please.
Thank you, and congratulations to the 3 young women that got the scholarship from Councilwoman Flo Mazer. You're all very impressive and deserving of that scholarship. At this time, I would like to speak about one of our crossing guards who unfortunately passed away recently. Being that Rosemary Salinka and I both were employed by the township for many years, I got to know her very well. She actually was part of my morning routine driving to work. I always looked forward to seeing her and waving to her every morning while she was on her post on Cambridge Avenue. I would come to the stop sign at Fairlawn Parkway at Cambridge Avenue, and I couldn't help but she was right there in front of me. So anyway, if there were kids there, she would be crossing them, and she was always doing her job well. Sometimes, if there were no kids crossing, she might be talking to one of the parents or whomever, and I would always beep the horn just to get her attention to say hello, because I came to look forward to seeing her smiling face every morning. So I got to know her a little bit better, her and her husband Jerry, who's here tonight, from our twice-a-year parties that we had with the crossing guards. One was at the end of the school year, and the other one was for the winter holiday season. So anyway, I know that she loved to cook, she loved to bake, she also liked to play bingo at St. Philip's, and she even participated in our chicken bingo games that we have at our senior center quarterly. So my deepest condolences to the family. People will remember Rosemary as a very generous person and a very giving person. She'll be missed by her coworkers, especially the children and the parents that she served for all those years, those 16 years as a crossing guard. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Chief Kugler, who has a presentation to make.
Thank you, Mayor White. First of all, on behalf of the entire police department, all of the school marshals, we want to express our deepest sympathies to you, Jerry and Jody, and the family of Rosemary Salinka. Rosemary began her service in Saddlebrook in the year 2000 and gave it all. Gave the last 16 years of her life to protecting the residents and especially the school children of our community. And I think it's fitting that today, for 2 reasons, we do this presentation. One is the enormous amount of school marshals that are in this room right now. You didn't have to wear your bright green, yellow shirts. We knew you were here. But because you brighten up this room, it reminds us that Rosemary's life and light is shining in this room right now. So that's the first reason that it's appropriate. But the second reason is very much appropriate because just today, just a few hours ago, in front of the Saddlebrook High School, middle school, a young middle schooler came out of school at 3 o'clock, and instead of walking to the crosswalk, darted across Mayhill Street and was struck by a car. Car wasn't speeding. The driver of that car is not at fault. It's just an unfortunate set of circumstances where you have a lot of activity going on, a lot of kids not going over to the crosswalk. But, you know, sometimes we take the crossing guard's job not as serious as it is. And that is, Your job is to protect these children coming to and from school, and you know you have a hard job. And Rosemary, as well as all of you, knew that your job was to be on that post and try and not only cross children safely, but to educate drivers. And in today's time, it's very hard to educate drivers because everybody is determined to do whatever they want to do on that road, whether it is drive reckless, carelessly, or maybe on their cell phone. But anyway, those are the two reasons why we highlight why school marshals are so important. But tonight, we take this opportunity to give our expression of sympathy to Jerry and Jody and the family of Rosemary Salinka for giving us her service for the last 16 years. And I know that Jerry probably missed Rosemary because when Rosemary was out on that corner, although he was only a block away, he wanted to get closer, so he himself became a school marshal and got assigned to the post right up on the same street, on the same side of the street as his wife, Rosemary. So you can tell the love that was between Jerry and Rosemary, and they're only separated by maybe 500 feet on their duty. Maybe Jerry was concerned about Rosemary and what she does on that post, and he had to have an eyeball on her, so maybe that's another reason. But whatever the reason was, that Almighty God in His infinite wisdom said, Rosemary, you need to come to me, we have to accept that. And the only thing we can do is cherish her memories and keep her in our hearts and in our minds, and I know that's what tonight represents. So Jerry, on behalf of the entire town of Saddlebrook, police department, school marshals, and all the residents and children she safely, and you all safely crossed, we give our expression of sympathy, and we want to retire Rosemary's badge tonight and present you with her badge as a representation of the safety of all of you, and especially in remembrance of Rosemary. So Jerry, if you would come forward, maybe with Jody and anybody else from the family. It's our distinct honor and privilege right now to retire Rosemary Salinka's school crossing guard badge and give it to Jerry and Jody, and really express that we do sympathize with what you're going through here on her loss, but know that she's not gone, she's in a better place, and we all will be there and be together, but hopefully we'll take some time, not hurry that up.
I just want to say thank you to everybody. It's wonderful to see this great turnout. I know my mom would have been really excited about that. Sorry, I get choked up. But thanks again for everything from the town. Appreciate it.
God bless you.
Again, just to reiterate what Jody said, I want to thank all these crossing guards, family, friends that showed up, and I really appreciate it. I'm not much at speeches, even if my wife did used to say, don't give him a microphone, because I wouldn't stop talking. But again, thank you all for showing up. I appreciate it.
Okay, I still have time here at the microphone, but at this time we're doing a special presentation and program and appointment to the Saddlebrook Police Department. And let me give me a preface story with this. About 6 years ago, actually it was 7, but about 6 years ago, the Bergen County Police Chiefs, together with the Bergen County Sheriff, Michael Sordino, entered into a program called Chief for a Day. And basically what happens is that each of the 70 municipalities, and we have 68 municipal police agencies, but we go out and we find a special child to represent a chief of police in their communities. And I've been proud and privileged to, for the past 6 years, seek and select a child from the community of Saddlebrook to be a part of this Chief for a Day program, where that child and the family is introduced into law enforcement, is really given a great tour about what the police profession is all about. And these are special children all throughout Bergen County, and tomorrow, Friday, June 3rd, our Chief of Police, our new Chief of Police for the day, Samantha Maniscalco, will join me in a tour of Saddlebrook and the whole county of Bergen. We will be introduced to law enforcement agencies throughout the county. We will culminate on the steps of the Bergen County Justice Center in Hackensack, where a group photo will take place. Afterwards, we'll have a luncheon and award ceremony. But tonight is the first night that we take this opportunity to officially swear Samantha Maniscalco into the office of Chief of Police, and it's my honor and privilege to ask our Chief, Samantha, to come forward with her family to be sworn into this official position.
Thank you.
Samantha, who would you like to come forward to hold the Bible?
My brother.
Your brother Michael. Okay. Come on up, brother Michael.
Get the oath of office.
We have to do this with a Bible, Samantha.
So let's
Right here
switch
behind.
places.
You want to come over here?
Yeah.
Samantha, you read into that.
Okay.
Okay, let's get this Bible in front of her.
Raise your right hand.
Hand on the Bible. That's
And
it.
the Bible. Okay.
You talk after the mayor talks. Just say it to her.
I,
Samantha Maniscalco,
Samantha Maniscalco,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
and affirm
and affirm
that I will support
that I will support
and comply with the Constitution
the apply to the
Constitution
Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
of America,
of America,
the Constitution and laws of the State of New Jersey,
the Constitution laws of
New Jersey,
New Jersey,
and the ordinances of the Township of Saddlebrook.
of the orders
That's right, ordinances of the Township of Saddlebrook. You're doing good. Ordinance of the Township of Saddlebrook.
orange
Of the town of Saddlebrook.
of the Township
Of Saddlebrook.
of Saddlebrook,
The rules and regulations of the Department of Police.
the rules of
Police.
Department of Police,
And the law enforcement code
of the
Law enforcement
law enforcement code
of ethics.
of ethics.
of ethics
And I bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
of
Bear
true
faith
faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same.
to the same,
And will perform the duties of police chief
And will perform
and will perform
the duties of police chief.
the duties of police chief
of Saddlebrook.
of Saddlebrook.
So help me God.
To have a God.
Congratulations. Gotta sign this, make it official. Gotta sign. Got to sign. You got a pen sheet?
I do.
Listen, get you a pen, get the pen.
I do, it's not gonna work.
See, that's why she's gonna be the next sheet. You don't have a pen there.
Samantha, you signed your name.
So it's Rip?
Right there.
Samantha, right across.
It's Rip?
Go ahead.
Yes.
In script.
Samantha. Script.
Dope pen, not working. It's not working. Okay, you can't see.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, the one question is, do you like donuts?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And you like big paychecks, I'm sure.
Yes, I do.
All right. So Samantha and I look forward to serving the residents of Saddlebrook. We're going to start on duty tomorrow first thing. We'll be up bright and early at the time of about 8 o'clock. I'm going to come pick you up. We'll be driving around in our police car. We're going to go visit your school, right, and see all your school classmates. And then we're going to go to Bergen County and meet with our other chiefs of the day across Bergen County. And we're going to have a great day, Samantha, and I look forward to it. And I want to tell you how happy I am that hopefully this makes you happy to be a part of our police department and our community. You want to say anything more? Say anything you want. Maybe thank your mom and your dad and your brother for helping.
Thanks, everyone. This was a great time.
I introduced Samantha's mom, Monica.
I'm so completely overwhelmed. I want to thank Chief Kugler, Mayor White, the Township of Saddlebrook, to make our special child feel welcomed and loved, and most importantly, a part of the community. So from our family to your families, thank you so much for this great honor.
Council President Joe Camilleri, may I begin this
Yeah, sure, Chief.
short presentation? Good evening, everyone, whoever's left. And I take this opportunity at request of the mayor and council to give you an understanding about what's happening with the Saddlebrook 300th anniversary celebration. As you know, the Township of Saddlebrook is reaching its 300th year, is in its 300th year of existence. And I want to bring your attention to two things. The first thing, if you look to the dais of the council, you see the two banners that are hanging up on either side of our logo. These are the banners that are here now. We're about a month overdue, but they are here, and they're going to be erected along the major highways and roadways in Saddlebrook, Market Street, Saddle River Road, Midland Avenue, maybe Route 46. But these represent the sponsors of all of our township individuals and businesses that took the time to support this program. And the reason why we were delayed is because our goal was about 75 banners, and as we were closing it out and getting to the vendor, we actually wound up with about 50 more, so we're over 120 banners. But this is what they look like. A nice patriotic theme, red, white, and blue. And it has the Saddlebrook logo, and on the bottom, the area where the individual or business has sponsored. So these are going to be going up as of Monday, and we want to take this opportunity to thank each and every individual and business who sponsored and was a part of our 300th anniversary celebration banner program. Second thing I'd like to say is that next Friday, June 10th, the Saddlebrook 300th Anniversary Committee will be holding a pizza party celebration at the VFW here in Saddlebrook. The cost is only $10. Tickets are only $10, and we're going to have a night of good gathering, pizza, obviously, and we're going to do a couple of different presentations. One is we're going to have entertainment by a Sinatra group who sings Sinatra and oldies and doo-wop, rock and roll. But another special presentation will happen because we found someone in the town of Saddlebrook who is reaching 100 years of age, actually the next day, June 11th. And on Friday, this individual from our community was invited to come with his family, and not only will be celebrating 300 years of Saddlebrook being in existence, but 1/3 of that time, this individual's been a part of the community of Saddlebrook. So I want to express my gratitude to the mayor and council to give us this opportunity to speak a little bit about the 300th celebration. I want to thank Thomas Van Winkle, who's been putting information out on our Facebook, and if you're not a part of it, please look us up, Saddlebrook 300. On the Facebook page. We have a lot of trivia going on, a lot of information there about what's happening with this 300th anniversary, and I'm so happy to share this with the rest of the committee members and especially the whole community of Saddlebrook. This is a great historical event for our community, and I want to thank the mayor for having the foresight to put this together for the entire year 2016. So please, if there's any more information you may need, please feel free to call the mayor's office, my office as the chief of police, or the Facebook page, Saddlebrook 300. So once again, thank you. I appreciate all your time. And Township Council, you can now have your meeting back.
Thank you, Chief. We're going to just keep going with the meeting. We were going to take a recess, but the room did empty out. So I'm going to entertain a motion to open the meeting to the public.
Motion.
Roll call.
Councilman Samaluka?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer?
Yes.
Councilwoman DeArminio?
Yes.
Councilman Alcomondo?
Yes.
Council President Camilleri?
Yes, the meeting is now open to the public. Anyone wishing to speak, please come up to the podium, state your name and address.
Hello, my name is Ryan Roy, autism advocate for people with disabilities, especially within the autism spectrum disorder, 167 Northwest Wing Ave, Saddlebrook, New Jersey, 07663. About all those presentations, especially to mourn for the loss of Rosemary Salenka, I personally want to, let you know that I remember her when I actually registered, to join bingo at my church at St. Phil's the Apostle. Also through them, they actually gave me the opportunity to work with Frank Anoffer and Steve Chakowski at the kitchen, and I was really doing all the calculations of, the money, who I should really give the right change to, and everything else to the folks who really, are participants in playing the bingo. And also I remember the good times when I really want to march in the parade too, especially with my church. And if it wasn't for my parents, and if it wasn't for them reaching out to the Slinkas and me spending a day there in their barbecue and actually having food and all the grub, and I really appreciate it a lot. And I remember all those good times I had, but especially, they really were connected with Bob, the Reverend Bob McBride, who's really more in a way that they worked together and they were, more like a tag team partner. So I'll truly miss them so much, and I truly will, really pray for her to really be with the Lord's, hands and basically in our minds. And also, I want to really congratulate Samantha Maniscalco, for being the police chief for the day. She really, truly deserved it, especially all the struggles she's going through. And I really pray for her a lot. And I remember, meeting her mom, at the CCD dinner with all the catechists, and especially in the choir as well from the church. And especially, I want to give kudos to the mother for raising a beautiful girl who really truly deserves to be, in this, in the uniform and everything else, especially to Bob Kugler and the mayor, along with the mayor and the council, really making a difference. And also yesterday, I really was touched, with all the fallen officers, that was arranged by Chief Kugler, and also with other organizations as well, that really made a huge difference. And especially that we need to honor all those fallen officers. I mean, those officers really made a, contribution to society to protect those who really are in need of whatever necessary. And I know this is something that really needs to be, well said. So I really, hope that, things will be, go accordingly. And, that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. All very positive things. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Thomas Van Winkle. I live at 128 Lincoln Avenue. I also want to express my condolences to the Slinka family. I remember Rosemary at her post on Cambridge Avenue. I went to Smith School and graduated there in 2008. I remember all the times I shared with her, talking to her, going to her house for her annual barbecues during the summertime, and other times going to her house and had some very good times with her, and I'm very grateful to be able to say that. Also, another thing I want to share with the Mayor's Youth Group, that through the chair, I just want to announce that the Saddlebrook Mayor's Youth Group, which is open for students in 4th through 12th grades, will meet on Saturday at 11 a.m. right here in Town Hall, and we'll be discussing some upcoming events. So I want to share that with everybody. Thank you.
Nicholas Willie, 518 Leicester Avenue. We have a problem on our street. We have tractor trailers coming down it. They don't belong there. The town has put up signs, no right turn, no trucks allowed, every couple feet. 45-foot trailers coming down the block. They get down there, they can't turn around, so they have to back out. They've already hit cars on the block. They tore my lines down on my house Friday. The chief told me keep calling headquarters. I don't like bothering headquarters for this, so I didn't call for about a year, but now I've been calling. When they ripped my lines down, I called. Police were right there, handed out tickets. 2 days later, another 45-foot trailer comes down the block. I call headquarters, the police officer comes, says to the guy, you're not allowed to come down this block, let me help you back out. So I'm not going to call anymore if they're not going to issue tickets every time, because it's not stopping the problem. What I need the council to do is they got to get a hold of this company and put a stop to it, because all they do is give us lip service. Yeah, we give them the coordinates, they're supposed to go along the railroad tracks, then we ask the drivers, what's your coordinates? 400 Leicester Avenue, which is our street. It's become unbearable now. 3 weeks ago, I called Andrew right away. The truck, because they can't turn around, they have to back out. Backing out, they get to the house next door to me. The truck stops, the guy on the passenger side gets out, whips it out, starts peeing in the middle of the street. This is at 1:30 in the afternoon. I go out there, I start yelling. He gets back in the truck, they go around, they go to the building. I go down there, I start yelling at him down there. Does nothing. They don't care. And I laid some of it on our building inspector. Because when these companies come in, I think the town people on the block should be notified who's going in there, what their hours of operation are, what they do, what kind of product they're bringing in there, tractor trailers or whatever. Because let me tell you, if the railroad tomorrow tells them they're not allowed to use that road anymore, then we're going to have to tractor trailers down our street 7 days a week. So I don't know what you can do. Something's got to get done, because if you don't do something and something's not done, there's going to be a war on the street. It's coming. Because the people on the block are getting tired of it. When the trucks are backing out, they can't back out onto Erie Street. They are 15, 20 minutes. Now the traffic's backed up to Market Street. The other traffic can't get through. We can't get in and out of our street. And it's been going on now roughly 2 years since Global Access moved in there.
So, Chair, what company is this? Do you know the name of the company?
Global Access. I've called the main office. I've spoken to them. You know, you get lip service. That's what you get. What do they care? They don't live there. To make our street worse is because now they put all them lights at the end of the block for the trains, which is another joke, because 2 cars have been hit since them lights went in. Now they have the no turn on red lights up, but the people in the road of traffic can't see that light because it's behind the tree. So they're all blowing the horn. So from 6 in the morning until 10 o'clock at night, all we hear is not horn honking, people just leaning on their horns, and it's 7 days a week, and it doesn't stop. So our block has become really...
paralyzed by all such...
Yeah, it really is. It's terrible. It's terrible.
I encountered it today, by the way.
Excuse me?
I encountered it, by the way.
There you go.
No turn on red.
Yeah.
Couldn't see it, so you got up to it. And you can't turn on red when the train's coming, which makes no sense because the train's to your left.
Well, what's even worse is when the light's red for the people going south on Midland Ave, right before the tracks, the red light, they still all make their left turns. So now, and then the people pull out of the lane, they're trying to get around. So that whole area there, between the trucks, them lights and everything, I've been here since '63. I've been in a house for 35 years on this side of town, and I'm ready to sell. I'm ready to get out of town because of this. And my neighbors are all thinking of selling too, because it's unbearable. It's just unbearable. Would you like tractor trailers up and down your street all day? Nah. Can't get out of your driveway, then they get to the end of the block. If you're coming home, you can't go down your street, so you gotta wait, then you gotta wait for a cop to come to help them back out. It's enough. It's enough. We've had enough. So whatever you can do, we would appreciate it.
Nick, I have a question. The tree that you say is blocking the sign, the no turn on red, is it the tree blocking it, or is it a branch? Is it something?
No, it's the tree.
It's the trunk of the tree?
That's only when the train's coming. It's lit up, so then it's behind the tree. The first or second car can see, the rest of those cars can't see the sign, so they just lean on their horns, man, just lean on them, and it's all day long.
It's the angle of the box.
That's right. But what's also bad is, as you all know, because you all drive, is a lot of people don't like to make that turn on red. So they don't go either, even when it's just a red light and the light's not on. They still don't make the turn on red. So everybody's blowing the horn at them. People are pulling out, going around, and then the traffic's coming off of Midland Ave. You almost have head-ons. It's a fiasco.
My second question is, the signs, I know you talked to me, and I addressed the council and the mayor, and we had a couple more signs put up there. Is there any difference in the
None.
tractor-trailer traffic
None.
with that?
None.
It didn't do what it was intended to do?
No. Because their GPS is telling them to go to 400 Leicester Ave. So they make the turn to go down. All right, so that, I can't say any more on that. I mean, I need the council, the mayor and them to get together and do something, send this company letters. They're going to tell you it's not their problem because it's not their truck drivers. It's deliveries that are coming into them. It's always somebody passing the buck. That's the bottom line.
Nick, I think what we have to do is, we do have to meet with that company and sit them down, and the chief and I, and talk about what's going on there. They got to give direction to these delivery people.
They say they
these
do.
tractor trailers.
They say they do. Every time I'm down it.
I'm sure maybe they do, but they need to really, I guess, reiterate to them.
I told them to put a sign there, Global Access up ahead. They put a sign about this big and they leaned it against the telephone pole on the ground.
Yeah.
And that blew away, I think, in the first wind was gone.
Yeah, I think that one, I think they put that on a telephone pole somewhere.
Yeah, they leaned it up against the telephone pole. That's what they did.
I think I saw it there too.
It was on the ground.
Yeah, but I think they put that one closer by,
And coming the
Where
other
that
way by
service
the
road
tracks,
is.
they have a sign this big on a fence behind the leaves. So the trucks don't see that either. They don't care. Let's just face it, they don't care.
as far as the enforcement goes, if the enforcement is not consistent, it's not going to work.
Yeah, I really don't like calling headquarters for that. They have more important things to do. But if that's what it's going to take to stop, to keep giving them tickets and giving them tickets. And, yeah, the second time they came down, they just didn't give the ticket. So why should I call? All right, so that's the end of that issue. I just hope you can do something.
I think you should call, because it really is. The chief is here tonight, so.
My biggest
maybe he can
mistake
address it.
was the day the guy was taking the whiz. I should have filmed it with my camera phone, but I'm not that savvy with the thing, so. That's what I should have done, because that was the proof right there of what's going on.
Nick, through the chair to the mayor and the chief who's here, and they have a suggestion. Although there is a sign there that says no turn or truck traffic, if we enact it as an ordinance, and as part of our ordinance would be a second offense would involve registration revocation, I think at that point, now you're hitting people in the pocketbook, because they do it once, now you're on notice, you shouldn't have done it. The second time, they're getting the registration suspended. If you suspend the registration of a tractor-trailer, they're not making money. So that's something to consider.
Andrew, this company says it's always the first-time truck drivers that are coming to their place that do this.
Well, unless
So it's
they have
not the repeat driver doing it. It's always a first-time driver.
Unless they have an
They
endless
can't read,
supply.
that's the problem, they can't read.
Yeah, unless they have an endless supply of drivers. I mean, generally.
Well, it's not their drivers, it's drivers that are coming
I
into their
understand that,
company.
But I don't know how many different companies are accessing it. You can't, I mean, it's not fair to revoke a registration for the first offense, but if it is a repeat offense, you're on notice, you hit them with a fine, hit them in the pocketbook, but the second time around, like you say, you're only talking about people that are getting caught. The people, they could be doing it 500 times. If they're not caught, they'll do it 500 more. But once they're caught, the first time, now they're on notice. The second time, you're going to be revoked. And it's not so much the driver. Now the company is on notice, because the driver, he doesn't own the truck. He may not care, but the
That's
company
exactly what
certainly-
he said to the cop, because I could care less, my boss is going to pay this
Exactly.
ticket.
But the company who's getting their registration revoked, now you can't use your tractor-trailer. If you're not using your tractor-trailer, you're not hauling your product. If you're not hauling your product, you're not getting paid. You're not getting paid, you're not, you're out of business. So that's something that we can consider. That's something to talk about.
All right, so that issue here for myself is dead. I got one other item. Floral Lane, you got long school there. Okay, we all know in the morning, people park on the one side, the homeowners, they're parked there, a couple parents. The other side, the parents come up and they start letting their kids out. I'm going down that street driving now, since I'm 46 years. I have never run across this problem. I'm going down here the other day, and an officer jumps out from between two cars and says to me, "What do you think you're doing?" I said, "I'm going to the end of the block." And the officer said, "You're not allowed to do that." I said, "What do you mean I can't do that?" He said, "You can't come through here. You have to get in a line with these parents and wait in that line. You can't pass these parents up." So, and very nicely too. The officer was very nice. I said, "I've never heard of it." I pulled in the driveway, turned around and went the other way. And I was thinking about it. I don't know if it's legal or not for them to stop me doing that, but the officer made sense, because that is so crammed in there to get through, and there's children running back and forth and everything. And about 6 or 7 years ago, I was here and I brought it up, and I guess the chief can answer the question. I see it in other towns, because I'm on the road all the time. They press the light at 7:30, our DPW works at 7:30. Why can't they put, say, coming from Fairlawn Parkway towards the school, at that one corner, put a barricade there, okay? Just so the traffic that's coming from Midland can go through, and the parents all have to come around, turn out by your house on Hayes, come around in a big circle, which a lot of them do anyway, and come around and they can all line up. That way you don't have this back and forth traffic going through there for that hour and a half. At 9 o'clock, the kids are in school, you pick up the barricade, you move it to the sidewalk. At 3 o'clock, before they get out, you put it back out, and you do it again. I mean, for the safety of the kids and keep the traffic moving, then it would be a nice flow going around the block. Because the way it is now is crazy. Because I don't see how they could stop you from going down the street. So maybe the chief could talk it over, or the mayor, or whatever. I don't know, maybe you can't even do it legally in this town. I don't know. But I see it done in other towns.
Through the chair, sorry. I know we're talking about my son goes to that school. I also brought up the idea of you have one way in and one way out in the back of the school. It's always empty in the morning. So why can't the parents pull in the back of the school?
I asked that.
Drop the kids off and go out the other way to leave the street open. Because if you ever need an emergency vehicle down the street during school drop-off, the house is on fire, it's going to burn.
I did ask that question, but they said kids up in the back there, and they were all running around, so they didn't want the cars going back there. I'm not back there, so I don't know.
Yeah, they don't line them up anymore. They did away with that.
Yeah. So either that or around Hayes Drive, right around Bellite Terrace, another left, down, the parents will still be dropping their kids off the same way. Now you get a nice flow of traffic. And if somebody is coming down a block, they could still go down because it's all going one way just for that hour and a half. Because the officer's reasoning to me, I'm thinking, well, now when I go down to Cambridge Ave, I'm not allowed to go down that street. I have to get in line with all the parents dropping off the kids. Because it's the same thing.
But Nick, Cambridge is one way going down.
That's
so it's
right.
a little different.
Well, I mean, I wasn't going through on Floral Lane when I see, you look, you don't see traffic coming, so then you go. You wait till nothing's coming, and there was nothing coming. It is one way. But it's still the same premise. You're going to go down the middle of the street just like you're doing on Floral Lane. It's something to think about. Because when I brought it up last time, they went and put the stop signs instead, and people just go right through them all the time. So, to help with Leicester Ave would be appreciated. I didn't ask my neighbors to come yet. That will be next time if something doesn't get done, especially the lady who the whole side of her car got destroyed. My lines are down. Took them 5 days to get there to fix it, so I just canceled the phone. Because it's not the first time. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Nick. Just to comment on your street lights, there maybe us as mayor and council, we could get some kind of letter together to the company. They have to know who's picking what up. And maybe they could send out a mass email to their truckers coming in. There is no truck driving on that Leicester Avenue, and maybe we could try to get the word out that way just to stop it, because basically we have to stop it. It is a little ridiculous. And I wouldn't want to go out in front of my house and see some guy pop out of his truck and urinating in the street.
That was, I mean, at first I started laughing. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, the lady across the street's got 2 kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's really not cool.
So maybe we could get something like that together, Nick, because I do feel for your situation.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Hi, Jessica Kern, 73 Rochelle Parkway. I just want to say we have the same problem with the tractor trailers on Rochelle Parkway. They're not supposed to come down there. They certainly are not supposed to make the left and go over 80 to all the factories back there. It's the same thing. They come, they sit and they idle, they get out of their car, they act like they don't know that they're not supposed to go that way. My husband's gone out there to talk to them. They say the same thing. This is the way they're told to go. They're not going to go any other way. They've come down and they've tried to make like K-turns, like on the side streets, Congress, Albany, Washington. There's tons of kids there. They're reversing these huge tractor trailers. They can't see. They come back. They idle. They have gotten out of their cars and screamed. My kids have been outside. They're rude. We're trying to help them and tell them you can't come this way. We were told the same thing. Call the police every time. I would have to sit outside all day and make constant calls. It never ends. So, same thing over there. I just wanted to let you know. I have seen cops give tickets, for sure, but it's not all the time. And I know other neighbors have also complained about it. They've called, but sometimes by the time a cop gets there, they're gone. And, so that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. I live on Albany, so I understand your problem exactly. I'm in the same boat there. The thing is where I think a lot of those trucks go, like it's not as isolated as Nick's problem. because there's different factories
Yeah,
there
it's
to
all
get
of
in
them
touch
back
with.
there.
I don't even know where they're going or who they're going, but maybe
I don't know
collectively,
either.
again, we can look into that.
And that's the thing, it's not the same, like, trucks, so I
Right.
can't even say, oh, it's this
Right.
company. There's a ton of them.
Right.
And the cops, when they do pull them over and, either give them a warning or give them a ticket, they say the same thing, you've got to go around the other way and come down Market and come through, but if you tell them once, it doesn't matter, There's a ton of different ones, so. Thank you.
Okay,
Through
thank
through
you.
the chair. Chief, maybe we could try to address this problem through placing officers there during the day and making this a priority, because it's two streets that these tractor trailers keep going down, and the residents there are up in arms. I know Rochelle Parkway for sure, and Leicester's been a problem forever. But I have received other complaints from residents on Rochelle Parkway. So, and also them going over Mayhill Street, which they're not supposed to do. They're supposed to come in through Market, and they're really not supposed to pass the high school. So maybe we can try to place some officers there and let them sit if they have enough available and make it a priority. Thank you.
Hi, Leonard Drive. I wanted to step up here to say a couple of things, but before I do that, I know we all regret the passing of Rosemary, but on a brighter note, congratulations, Mayor, Chief, for the Chief of the Day program. Samantha was a great pick. Congratulations on that. Also want to congratulate the scholarship recipients and you, Councilwoman, for all the years that you shared your successes as a businesswoman by helping our kids get an education. And I think that's just great. I think that's one of the most unselfish things that people can do. I know this because I'm a member of Saddlebrook Unico, and we do this every year, anywhere from 5 to 8 scholarships, $1,000 apiece, just to help the kids continue their education.
Thank you, Phil.
I wanted to publicly state and give my thanks to the VFW for allowing me the honor of being the Grand Marshal in this year's Memorial Day Parade. It was a very heartwarming thing, especially when the public support, which I received personally, was there for me. And I think that was absolutely great. And it was one of the greatest feelings outside of the birth of my daughter that I've ever had in my life. So it was really great. And I thank everyone for giving me the time.
Thank you, Phil.
Larry Tychek, 92 Claremont Ave. Tuesday night, there was a presentation put on about the company for the tax appeals. I know 2 council people were missing from it. There was a lot of questions to be answered that we didn't get answers from. And I just have a few things to ask the council about it. What happened? Oh.
I think it's outside.
You what?
Outside.
Oh, outside, okay. I know we're looking at a 5-year contract. Like I said on Tuesday night, the program might work. It might work for a year, might work for 2 years. But what happens when the attorneys for these commercial buildings find the loophole to do the tax appeals again, and we're stuck in this contract for 5 years? I think a good idea is if, like I recommend or would look at doing a 1 year. I know you're going to pay more money for a 1 year, but there has to be some way we can opt out of it, because we can't be locked into something for 5 years and getting beat up for 5 years. Eventually, they're going to find a loophole in that, and they're going to appeal their taxes again. So if this company could give us some kind of option to get out with no penalty, I mean that's something we should negotiate before. And the other thing is, like I asked the gentleman if he's the only company that does this, and he said no. And we didn't get any presentations from the other companies? I mean, if there's 3 or 4 other companies. And the other thing that I didn't like, when the tax assessor said that he had a relationship with this company. I mean, I know he works full-time for Hackensack, they kept saying that Hackensack was doing it very well and everything like that. But don't you think for this kind of money that we should get other prices or other presentations rather than to jump into something like this?
Through the chair.
Sure.
Actually, why he said the company, because this particular company did the reassessment in 2013. And if you recall what the gentleman said the other night when it was referenced to Patterson, the other company came in at $900,000 versus him 200,000 because the data, he already has the data.
Right, that's the other question.
So going with us, being he did it in 2013, he has all the data.
Okay.
So the price is going to be less than somebody coming in to recreate the wheel again.
Okay, but we don't know that. We didn't get any other pricing yet, so we don't know that. And the other thing is, after the 5 years, who's going to own that data? Do we own it, or does that company own it? Do we know this?
Through
We
the
don't know
chair, I
that.
think, Anthony.
We don't know these answers.
Larry, through the
Yes.
chair, I think
Yeah.
we'll let Anthony answer that.
Do you want me to?
Sure.
Sure.
So, yeah, my understanding is that it would be their proprietary documentation. So, we could discuss with them our ability to be able to, keep the data. But I think that based upon his presentation is that that's kind of their work product, which was why they were able to give us the price that they were able to give us. Rather than, and the other company, I think with regard to the South Jersey companies, I think one of the things I had talked to them about is that when they do some of this evaluation and come up with their numbers, that they're local and that they don't have people who, got distances to travel, which is part of what they build
Right.
for, because they're a close by Bergen County company. I think they're in Glen Rock.
But we don't know because we haven't got any other pricing yet, though. We don't know the other
Well,
company's prices. We're just taking this guy's word that's why he's giving us such a deal. Okay. The other thing is when, like I say, you compare to Patterson, you can't compare, all of the big buildings and all the corporations that go into Patterson are there on tax abatements. They don't pay no taxes, so they don't have to appeal anything. You look at Home Depot, you look at Lowe's, you look at Pep Boys, you look at the hotel that's being built, they're there on tax abatement. There's 1,100 churches there, so they don't pay taxes. That's why Patterson's in the condition that they're in right now, because nobody pays taxes there. So he can't really compare us and say how good he's doing in Patterson when nobody in Patterson pays taxes. That's why the residents are getting hammered over there. But like I say, the only thing that I worry about is we got to have it in writing that, or whatever, that we can get out of this if it doesn't work for us. Because the first time a tax appeal comes, commercial tax bill, he says we're going to be at 100% all the time. The first time a tax appeal comes and we lose, are we out?
Through the chair. Sure. But Larry, the purpose of it, to do the rolling reassessment, is to keep the property values across the town at 100%.
I'm not arguing about that, or I'm not doubting that.
So that being said, there will not be any tax appeals.
Well,
I know you're saying that attorneys will come along,
Yes.
but if you also heard what he said, there is legislation down in Trenton, which the state is going to require the towns to do this.
But
So
that could
you're
take-
saying hypothetically...
That could take 5 years for the legislation to move.
well-
Do you know how fast they move? If they move as fast as we're getting the money for that senior housing, we're going to be waiting a long time for government to move. Government does not move fast. Okay? And like I say, if someone does appeal the taxes, a commercial, say Zuckerberg appeals their taxes, who's going to represent us and who's going to pay the legal fees for that? Because, I mean, this is supposed to be a fail-safe policy that he's given our town. Is he going to put it in writing that he's going to go to court and defend us? And if we do lose, can we opt out immediately? Because once Zuckerberg wins, then Park 80's coming in, the Marriott's coming in, and they're all coming in. So that's where we just have to get some kind of protection.
But that's where we're at now, Larry.
I know, but we're
coming
set to
in.
vote on it tonight, though, and we can't
Exactly.
answer these questions. You got to have you know what, if you want this guy to put in writing that you can opt out and he's going to pay the legal fees, you got to do it before you vote and before you sign the contract, not after, because he's just going to laugh at you.
I just look at what we're up against this year, Larry.
I know,
A couple
and it's-
$1 million.
Okay, but like I
As
say,
opposed to $75,000. You're a businessman.
This is the problem, and we've had the same tax assessor for 20 years. Remember that. Remember that, okay? If he
Is
was
that
so-
a bad thing you're saying? Is that
Excuse me?
bad? Are you saying that's a bad thing because we have the same tax assessor?
We're in a bad predicament where we are with the tax appeals, and we don't handle them fast enough, and we just let them sit there and lay and think they're going away.
Anthony, excuse me, could you explain the tax appeal process? How come it takes so long?
I understand it, Karen. I understand it. I don't think the council does, because the council lets them stay there for 6 years and 7 years. So if you understood something, if you have a bill at your house and it's sitting there for 30 days, 60 days, we're talking about things that are sitting here for 5 and 6 years, and millions of dollars. And millions of dollars. Then the previous council goes and approves a 0% budget, when we have all of this back-end bills back here that we ain't looking at, and we're going to go zero. So obviously, the council doesn't understand the tax appeal process, because they just ignore it.
Oh, no, we did, because we had to raise taxes this year by $167
Exactly.
to each of the residents because of the tax appeal. So we do understand it.
But if they shouldn't be sitting there for 6 years.
Through the chair, Anthony is going to explain something
Go ahead.
about tax appeals.
I'm sure that you're aware that basically when this group came in here, that there was so many different tax appeals that had been open for a number of years with regard to especially some of the bigger properties
Exactly.
in town. So they, like the councilman just said, they, unfortunately, and it was with the budget presentation, right, the auditor had explained that tax would have been flat, but for the fact that you had these enormous tax appeals that had sat around for some period of time. And on this contract, too, I just was going to mention to you that the terms can't be changed unless all parties agree to it. So I know that you had asked about opting out or anything like that. I think the part of what he had said was the price we were getting was based on the fact that it was over the course of the 5 years.
Correct.
Otherwise, the price would have been different.
Right.
I guess if you want to discuss, me going back and saying anything else about proprietary information, we should talk about that maybe in an executive session if you want to have that, because I don't want to really go into, contract arguments in open session. That'll be a potential litigation issue, but I also understand what he's saying with regard to that. But that issue is not specifically addressed in the contract. I thought that was part of what he had said, which is why they can offer the price they can offer, because he has that information. And I'm making a business assumption that he's not going to say, I'm going to give you all my information, because you're my client. But maybe, maybe we'll, I don't know.
Through the chair, Anthony, doesn't he have to submit annual reports, which is going to have a lot of that data anyway?
Well, that's a good point. And actually, on Article 5, they are supposed to provide monthly reports of the progress of the work and meet with the assessor when required or requested. They're also to provide, with regard to any of the appeals that are going to take place, an expert to go to the hearings, which would be part of, the normal cost of doing, a tax appeal. When you go in to tax court, right, you have to bring in your expert, so that's
Right.
provided with the contract.
And the only other thing is, like I said, you spent $350,000, okay, over 5 years. Huh?
$375.
$375.
5 years.
Why don't you get a second price or have a second presentation? You don't jump at the first, you know what I'm saying? You're jumping at the first.
You're
every
right
time.
in one aspect, Larry, but the thing is we go to our professionals, who happens to be our tax assessor, and that was his recommendation, and
But let me ask you
I think
something.
he knows his business.
Okay, if he knows his business, how could we let them appeals sit there for 5 and 6 years? Don't you think he should have been on the council saying, look, guys, we got to do this, we got to settle this, we got to settle that? So, I mean, how aggressive is he to just sit back and just
Well,
lay
what he
back?
wanted to do now, the way he explained it too, Larry, it's being proactive instead of reactive, Like, the situation the town is in now, we're hurting, and we're going to get beat up even worse if we don't do something.
Well, I
So
mean,
we
the
have
only
to
thing
do
I would
something.
say when spending that amount of money is just shop around. Not shop around, just have another presentation, hear from another company. I did ask the guy if there was other companies that did this, and he was very hesitant to answer that. He was talking about Huntington County, Camden County, and all. I said, you can't be all over the map. You can only be up here. So there are other, I don't know. When you go shopping for a big ticket item, I think you should, hear other presentations before you go and vote on this and hire this company. It's just a lot of money, and there's, like I say, there's a lot of unanswered questions.
I agree and disagree, Larry.
Well, like I said, I don't know how we're going to vote, because, like I say, if the questions can't be answered here, the guy got you in a contract now you might as well just say, here, take my money and go. That's what we do here. That's what we do.
Good evening, everybody. Omar Rodriguez, 275 Madison Avenue, 4 times council president. And I'm here to actually touch 3 points. First and foremost, I just want to make a comment. After approximately 8 months, I stood up at this podium last month, and there were some inconsistencies in the remarks that I received in regards to some of the questions that were presented last month. It took me to do some research, and that's what I'm here today, and I was here also on last Tuesday at the work session. Well, first and foremost, I officially would like to present the idea to Mayor and Council I believe that I spoke to some of you, but officially would like to request that you consider using some of the properties that we have in town, any pocket parks or any particular property that we have, and dedicate it as a memorial or as a park in honor to those that have served on a volunteer basis to our community. Now that we heard about the passing of Rosemary, not too long ago about PJ Ponso, Jack Wozniak, and others, I believe it will be a nice moment, a nice time to think about that. Since we have so many properties, we can use one of them, look for the grant to beautify from the county or the state, or actually do it through volunteer services in town, that we are very good at doing that. So at the end of the day, it will not cost a penny to the taxpayers. And I will really appreciate if you consider that. Second, I came last month and I stood up at the podium when I heard that most of the homeowners will be hit this particular year with $400 or $500 increase in the taxes. That's the average assessment home, because all the taxes are going to go up, starting with the county, Board of Education, municipality, open space. So that's just the assessment. That's the minimum. If you got a beautiful home that is assessed at a higher price, of course that is going to go higher. And it took me into doing some questioning. And the main reason why the taxes are going up, I actually am not lecturing you, but I'm speaking to the residents, the homeowners that have to do 2-3 jobs in order to pay the taxes, is the reason that there were a lot of commercial tax appeals. And they were successful on their endeavors, and now we have to give them refunds. After giving these refunds to the commercial and industrial taxpayers, the homeowners will have to fill the gap. So the taxes will increase. So that brings me into questioning, what are we going to do in order to avoid that? And I was asking questions, and this came about the resolution number 15, which is rolling reassessment. What's a rolling annual reassessment? So, first, I would like to ask through the chair, if I may, business administrator or anyone in the council that is the one, those are the ones that are going to vote tonight. Which company did our reevaluation in 2013?
Same company that we have on the agenda for tonight.
All right. Through the chair, if I may, to anyone that is going to be ready to vote tonight, because apparently as the tax assessor was saying that it was a done deal, that is ready to go, it's going to be approved, even though the council president corrected that it was more questions that were coming out. I believe that is still a lot of questions, like Mr. Rataksha just mentioned before. A lot of questions remain on the air. One of my first questions is, why are we in a rush to purchase this? Are we in that real bad situation to purchase an unknown service? That's my first question.
All right, I'd have to correct you with the unknown, Omar, because we discussed it in detail in closed session with the entire council, and then we discussed it again in open session on Tuesday, which you were here. And I kind of emphasized for yourself, if you would have asked those questions, why those professionals are here, because you may have gotten all the answers you wanted to get. You know what I'm saying? You're asking questions now where I can't answer for the professionals. I can't answer for the gentleman that was presenting this plan, but he would have had the answers to your questions.
Mainly, I don't have technical questions. Actually, the question right now that I'm doing is, why are we trying to purchase this system in a rush? Because apparently it's that we are against the wall. Why are we doing that? Are we in that bad of a shape?
Well, I could speak for myself. I'd like to purchase this plan to protect our town and to make, which I think you spoke about, the commercial end pay their share instead of the burden being dumped on the homeowner. And I do feel that this plan will nip that right in the butt with all these commercial appeals. We have to do something, because what we're doing now, it's not working.
Okay.
It's not working. Every year, we're going to get belted for $1 million, $2 million. You know, we have to do something proactive.
Thank you, Council President.
Through the chair.
Just let me finish the part, Mayor, one quick second. And that's what I wanted to get to. So, we're not in good shape, and we need to do something, correct?
Well, I don't want to see history repeating itself next year.
Because year after year, we're getting beat up, correct?
Exactly. Yes,
All right.
correct.
I just want to leave it up there because that's what I wanted to get. Mayor, I'm sorry. You want to say something?
Yes, through the chair.
Sure.
What I wanted to say was, yes, we need to do something. We need to take a proactive approach and stance, because you just said it yourself. Taxes are going to go up way too much. It's not fair to the taxpayers. We need to do something. And as far as the big rush, I think that Business Administrator Ladico could explain that there is a deadline we have to get by next week to the Bergen County Division of Taxation. We need to present some plan to them. Otherwise, we're going to have to wait till next year, and we're going to get belted again like we did this year. And I don't think that's fair to our taxpayers. We need to do something.
All right. I understand that part.
The ratio fell to significantly, to 78%.
Yes.
For the record, every single town goes more than the required 15%. That's just a benchmark. The 15% below above is just a benchmark. 85 is the requirement, or 115. So it's nothing wrong with that. It's not the best case scenario, but it's nothing wrong. Nothing is going to happen.
Is there a question here? Because I don't get it.
To the President, I can ask all the questions you want right now.
Yeah, but you're not asking any questions.
Through the chair.
You're
Okay, you want the questions? Let me first, Councilwoman D'Arminio. In 2013, it was not a reassessment like you just stated before.
Yes, it was.
If I can correct you, I don't know if you understand the difference between reassessment.
There's no reason for you to be condescending, Mr.
Then
Rodriguez.
you just try to interrupt me, so now let me try to clarify you. A reassessment is not the same as a reevaluation. What happened if you know that, you shouldn't say reassessment twice. It's a re-evaluation that happened in 2013. All right?
Reassessment.
So,
It was a reassessment.
according to this, to the webpage of appraisal systems, is under re-evaluation.
According to the resolution we adopted, it was a reassessment. That's
In
where I'm going.
2013, according to the webpage, it was a reevaluation that we pay over $300,000. Correct? That's on their webpage. So it's a big difference between reassessment and reevaluation, and that's what I'm just going by then. But the reason I'm saying that, and actually, by the way, he stated also wrong, that when he mentioned another town that there is $200,000 a year, and they can get out in the first year, and the second year, third year, fourth year, anytime, they can get out. That the next lowest bidder was $900,000. Not accurate at all. It was $425,000. because they didn't want to share data. But that's not what we're here for. We're here about Saturday.
So just let me ask you a question, and Omar, you're saying that the gentleman that gave us the demonstration just gave out false information?
I'm correct.
I'm trying to get it clear.
I'm going on the record, and I'm saying the second lowest bidder it wasn't $900,000 like he has stated here. It was $425,000. So I want to clarify. So I'm doing some clarifications right here, because I do my research before I come over here, and I do. So now the reason I'm saying this, the same year that we did our job, 2013, right? In another town nearby, there were a lot of tax appeals, maybe like we are facing now. They are taking a proactive approach. You know what they're doing? They suing the company that did the reevaluation. They suing it. The same year that we finished, they suing the company for all the losses. What are we doing right here? What are we planning to do? And this just happened in the last 48 hours. What are we doing right here? We're not suing the company. But what we're doing right here is that we are saying, hey, you just did it, but guess what? We're going to reward you. Tell me, what do you have on your shelf? Of course, everybody's a salesman. When it comes to the packets, I got a better product. Buy me this, and I will sell it to you for $75,000 a year for 5 years. Wow. In 10 years, that usually is the turn of a reevaluation. It's not a scientific science. It could be from 7 to 10, or sometimes 12, 15, the Saddlebrook has experience. In 10 years, this will cost us $750,000. A reevaluation for the size of our town, the average price is between $275 and $325 for that kind of line items.
Agreed right there. But if this plan doesn't work in 5 years, Omar, there will be no reason to continue it for another 5 to 10. Do you follow that?
Yeah. Just the state law in the state of New Jersey, the state law says, when you do a reassessment, and that's what they're trying to sell us, a reassessment, you have to do a minimum of 25% of all the homes.
Correct.
In Saddlebrook, it's around 4,200. So per year, they will have to do at least 1,050 homes, or not homes, line items, which is called commercial, industrial, and residential. Question is, if they're gonna complete the job in 4 years, why do we need a 5th year? By law, when you said to the state and to the county, I'm gonna do a reassessment, by law, you have to do 25% every single year. Why do we have a 5-year? Why other towns are doing this program just for 4 years? Now, also, the question that it wasn't answered, I don't know if you get the response in writing, was what was the price if you need to change it for 4 years? What is the price if you need to change it per year? He never responded. That was another option. And you know option? And this can be done in-house. And I also asked our tax assessor, what kind of software do we have? I'm guessing that we have CAMA that is supported by microsystems. If that is the case, all what they're gonna do is they're gonna send to get the data and to upload it into our system. But guess what? We can do that ourselves. And you know how many people we need to do the job? 2 part-timers in Saddlebrook to accomplish the 25% that the state requires. Now the question will come, if someone will do the job, the question will come, is the tax assessor have enough time to work within? All we need in order to accomplish this job, the same job that he's gonna do, is going to be 2 part-timers. Now, I wanna throw a question then. In commercial and industrial, that's where we're gonna get hurt, big time. Are we going to, who's gonna pay? In the meantime that I'm looking for my paperwork, can anyone tell me how much is the hour that he's gonna?
I just got one question for you, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but you come out here saying all we need is 2 part-timers to do this project. Have you done it? Are you speaking from experience, or I don't get where you come off saying that.
When you
2 part-timers are gonna take care of this project and keep the commercial assessments in check?
There is a formula in order to accomplish that through a 1 year. 25% of the homes or the properties in Saddlebrook is 1,050. But my question goes even furthermore. How much is he going to charge us to represent us in court? It's part of the contract. He need to prepare, he need to put everything in a file, he need to provide it to the attorney, he need time to go, time to stay there. How much is going to cost us each hour?
Anthony, can you
In
respond?
the contract, like I said before, and I think they do the same thing with their revaluations, because I've had experience with them in that end. I believe they provide the expert. The town would have to pay the attorney, I guess, who's going on the tax appeal. But they'll provide the expert witness in the contract, paragraph J under Article 1. It says the firm shall assist by providing an expert witness in the defense of all valuations rendered to the municipality.
With all respect, I'm very aware of that. When we do revaluation, after the revaluation is complete, they will do it for free for 1 year. In this case, they're not doing a revaluation. This is an annual reassessment, and that was my question that also wasn't answered. Is he going to be free now because he's going to do it on an annual basis? Or is he going to be charging per hour in every single case? Now, another question that I didn't bring it up, that just one question now, that he might say in the contract now. Who's going to pay for Title 91? Who's responsible for payments on Title 91? Can anyone in the council that are going to vote can explain to me who's going to pay for Title 91? That's the most important key of all these what we're buying tonight. Can anyone? Well, that's a question that I will think that you got to table this until you get a lot of answers. You can call for a special meeting. I know Mayor just mentioned that is time is of the essence, but Title 91 is one of the most expensive items. I will explain to the residents. Anytime that we lose a commercial and an industrial appeal, even if we are at 100% market ratio, they will appeal. They will appeal. Our chances just when we settle is just a little better. But it was said that day that if we keep it at 100%, our tax ratio will go down. But that doesn't mean that your taxes will go down. Taxes will not go down. It will stay the same. And if anyone right here in this council will tell me otherwise, I'm ready right here with anything. It will not go down. However, on commercial and industrial properties, there is a caveat right here. They don't inspect the properties. They don't go inside the properties.
Yes, they do. He said, yes, they do. Year
one,
he said he will go into...
With all respect to the chair, I'm gonna, if I can pass it on to you, so you can just maybe learn a little bit more. According to the webpage.
Chair, Omar, it says it right in the contract that they do go inside the houses.
First year.
First year.
For the first year.
If I may, once again, and I'm gonna pass it on, if you don't mind, commercial and industrial, and I knew it was gonna come, just for your information, if you can pass it, please.
Really?
You can pass it along, you can see it. That's out of the webpage.
He's taking over the meeting.
That is out of the webpage. They don't go inside, to correct you. They don't do commercial and industrial. It's a different type of criteria that they use for those. And I'm going to tell you how they do it. And that's what my problem is. My personal problem. For the camera, this is Title 91, so they couldn't answer, but I'm going to show what is a Title 91. Title 91 is a questionnaire. It's a questionnaire in which they send questions to the commercial and industrial part owners or industrial owners. They have to put their income, how much they rented for, how much they have spent on repairing their buildings or factories or whatever they might have. Is based on honesty. Whatever they write right here, that's what they mainly base their assessment for commercial and industrial. So my question here goes, we the homeowners, which are the majority of the town, will not have the chance. Why? We sell a house today for, our assessment is $190,000 according to the town. If we sell the house tomorrow for $300,000 with this system, the next week, you will be paying taxes on $300,000.
Correct.
All right. The homeowner that is buying the house will be paying, they will appeal, whatever, not much will happen. That is not the problem in Saddlebrook.
Correct.
Problem is not the homeowners, problem is the commercial
Exactly.
and industrial. When I say why we, the homeowners, will get penalized every time that we add, I take it as a penalized because you do a kitchen, you do an extra room, you will be charged immediately. But the commercial and industrial, nothing will happen. Why? Because Title 91 is just sent to these owners just once a year. Once a year. Based on this, that's how they pay taxes. Based on this is how they appeal. That's Title 91. So now, the other method, and you can read it there, is through sales price. They compare sales price. But let me put it this way. A big operation happened, the biggest building right here gets sold, Part 80 West, just to mention, for $300 million. It's a lot of stock that is going to be on the operation. We, the people, we are basically not financiers. Whatever property sales price it says there, that's what they're gonna base on that. But our people, this appraisal system will not come inside. The only way, and they said it right, the only way for commercial, when it comes rentals, let's say Finnegan Apartments, they will go inside. Yes, because they're rental apartments. It's considered part of commercial. But when it's a factory that is also considered a commercial building or industrial, depending where they are, they will not go in. So my question goes to you, council members, respectfully, and I'm not here to knock it down to, maybe it's the best thing that it could happen. It's just to question this with some more clarity from the vendor. And when I say unknown, it's because this has been in the market for no more than 3 years. And guess what? I got other news. I would love that someone contact Woodridge, where the mayor is Senator/Mayor Sarlo. They doing a reevaluation right now as we speak with the same company. Why they didn't take this rolling system program?
Through the chair. Through the chair. Omar, we can't compare ourselves to Woodridge. We're totally different than Woodridge. I'm not that familiar with Woodridge, but I don't think they have, I think they're mostly residential, aren't they? Do they have any industrial or commercial area? Commercial, I guess. I don't think they have industrial.
Big industrial.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know the town that well, but either way, they're different. Let me speak for a minute. Look, what we have to do here, as a mayor and council, we have to take the advice. We have a problem. We're trying to address it. We have to take the advice of our professionals. Okay, somebody mentioned the tax collector before. We also have a tax appeals attorney. Okay, we also have an appraiser that works for the town. The tax collector, the tax assessor, did I say collector before? The tax assessor, okay? He's a part-time person, professional. We have an appraiser. We also have a tax appeals attorney. Now look, I'm not being a smart aleck, okay? But like Council President Camilleri said, they were all here on Tuesday. Now, you're talking to people here. I have some knowledge. Admittedly, I'm not an expert. But what I want to say, this is where I don't mean to be a smart aleck, but why don't you explain to me, what are your credentials? Well, you're sitting up there, and I got to tell you, to the people listening at home, you sound like you know what you're talking about. You do. But we don't have professionals here, really, except Anthony. And Anthony's an attorney. I don't know if he does any tax appeals or how much information he has. But I'm asking you, you're speaking like you know what you're talking about. Now, in a court of law, okay, okay, a professional has to state what their credentials are. I'm asking you, not to be a smart aleck, I'm saying it. Just to ask you, man to man, what are your credentials? What are your credentials, professionally?
Okay. Mayor, this happened on Tuesday night. And it were a lot of questions, but apparently, he got, some of the tax assessor got actually, I will say, a little tired of so many questionings. And I said I was gonna ask most of my questions, and I did that night. They didn't respond it. And it doesn't take that long to make a research or to do a research. All you have to do is just go to their same webpage and get all the information from there and read it. Today I took the time, my lunch time, and just read it and digest it. And I also just wonder, TNEC, and by the way, I'm a certified...
Okay, Omar, hold on 1 second, please. The mayor asked you a question. You didn't.
That's what I was gonna...
You didn't answer him.
I'm a certified public manager. All right? Now...
What does that
and these comes from last...
What does that mean? You have finance background? What does that mean?
Through the chair. What I'm trying to... I don't want to lose my train of thought. Last month, Councilman Similuka, and that's what I did my research, and it's not his fault. He was told different, maybe. He also mentioned last month, and it's on the video, he said that at the end of the fifth year, it will be a reevaluation. And we're not going to have a reevaluation. So what the homeowners need to understand now is that if we continue with this company, every fourth year, they will have to open their doors for these inspectors to come, take pictures, and inspect their homes every fourth year. Also, Councilman Similuka also mentioned that company was doing business with another city at the time, and that's what he caught me off guard. And it's not that at that time I didn't know nothing, but when I don't know nothing, guess what? I just read, I just do research. And I happened to find out that it wasn't true also. It wasn't true. They've been trying for the longest time to have that client. But they just signed it last Tuesday. And why? Because I went to ask for more information from Treasury, from everything, because I needed to know what this program was. In closing, I just need to say this. Let's remember something, that every time that we do things last minute, things don't work well. We have already, not that you want to make the mistakes, but some of these professionals just tell you this is the best thing. But the best thing, I believe, is just to go around, ask the proper questions. Last time they were having meetings left and right, back to back, to purchase for $850,000 a property to build senior housing. 5 years later, we still don't have nothing. And today, Bergen freeholders sent $1.25 million in Fed funds to 4 affordable housing projects. None of them is out of yet. So then again, I'm not here to say that this is the worst. This might be the best, but it's just to do some research. And just for the record, when you have these type of firms, you don't go by what the professional says. Basically, it might be the best relation that he got in this town and other towns that he worked for. But we gotta look is what is best for us. Why don't we do an RFQ? That's the minimum that we can do, I believe. But if it's next week, maybe it's not much time, I don't know, those details. All I'm saying, this is a new program that we are paying double the price than it would have cost us to do a reevaluation. Is it worth it? Maybe yes. Thank you very much.
Wait 1 second, Omar. I have to interrupt you there. It's not double the price. The total price for this is $375,000. It's not double the price. Correct?
No.
I'm wrong?
Yes.
Okay, it would be double the price.
Yes.
What was the price of our last reevaluation?
On average?
You said it was between 275 to 315,000.
Yes.
So this comes in at 375. I don't know what kind of calculator you use, but that's not double.
If we're gonna go with that, I would just be simple. A revaluation in the state of New Jersey, the average is 10 years. So in 10 years, you spend $300,000, and if you multiply $75,000 for 10 years, it's $750,000. That's what you got
Correct
to
there, but I said before, if this doesn't work, we're out of it in 5 years at 375. And the way we are right now, Omar, I think I owe it to the people to make a decision. I think I owe it to the people to try to make the best decision to get this tax problem that we have in this town in check. And this was what was proposed to us. And I do feel 100% it will work.
Once again, same year, if we are in a mess, and we just recently did the work with the same company, another town is suing the company that did the work for all these tax appeals. But we are not suing this company. That is the same company that we're going for advice. We are rehiring in and paying in more money. I don't know, in my books it doesn't make sense, but maybe I'm wrong. But then again, it's always a pleasure speaking right here.
It's a different animal. You know, what was also explained, the old system and the old way doesn't work anymore. And that's why he was leaning towards this new system, something that's new that does work at the 100% assessed value. And he can make adjustments during the year on this with the rentals.
I understand that, but if that were to be the case, then people in Allendale, people in Teaneck, people in Woodridge wouldn't be doing a revaluation. They didn't take this rolling reassessment, and they doing it right now with the same company. With this same company, they do it. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thank you, Omar. Anyone else wishing to speak?
Woodridge, but when you do a revaluation, generally, what happens is you're ordered to do the revaluation by the County Board of Taxation. My understanding from the presentation was that this was supposed to be a proactive method of getting a ratio up to avoid the tax appeals. And then with regard to some of the issues that were brought up, well, yeah, some of the state law that, is in the contract does permit and require that they do send out the income-producing properties, the questionnaire under state law. But from what, the contract lays out is the procedures he's going to follow are those that are prescribed by law in order to conduct this type of an activity. So, and then the procedure also allows if there's a taxpayer, say a resident is concerned that their taxes are going to be higher because of the assessment, that they can actually do a taxpayer hearing and he will have a meeting with the taxpayers in order to address some of their concerns. And then it doesn't lay out specific hourly fees for the expert, but it says that they will be providing an expert witness at the time of, a tax court hearing or a county tax board hearing. And then the other thing that I just want to mention, it does say, and I don't know, it's plain from the contract, it does say that 100% are going to be inspected in the first year.
Correct.
Then they'll do 25 in the
Each
years
year.
2 through 5,
Yes.
and over the 4-year period, all 100% will be inspected. It doesn't say in the contract that it's just for this type of property or this type of property.
Right.
So, and in terms of what we can get and can't get, just to clarify, he never said that the township is entitled to, the facts or the information. It's just that I don't know his, the way that his computers work or, his inputting system. So I think that he can give us the information. We're paying for it, but I don't know how much, it helps that we have it and we don't have like the system to work with it to get the results. That's the only thing that, I believe is something that I don't know if you want to, he's not going to give away his, he's not going to give away his copyright or trademark or whatever you want to call it. But I would assume would be entitled to the facts and the information that we're paying for. We would get that.
Correct.
So I'm sorry, I just wanted to clarify
No, thank
that.
you, Anthony.
Also, through the chair, just to clarify also, and I was a skeptic when this first came up, this idea, but we had a revaluation, 2010, give or take. We had a reassessment in 2013. In 2015, 2016, we've dropped 20%. And that's the basis of the tax appeals. It's not the value of the property, it's the ratio. That's what was explained the other night. it makes sense to go to 100%. People file tax appeals, businesses, it's not going to stop people filing tax appeals. We're in a better position to defend the township and stop the bleeding. And this is the recommendation that's been made. The reason we have to do it now is the county tax board is meeting next week. If we want to implement this by October 1st, I believe is the cutoff, we have to do it now. We could wait, it'll take another year, and we don't know what the tax appeals or the ratio is going to be. That's the only reason this is all coming to a head at tonight's meeting.
Thank you, Pete.
There's some towns that he did the presentation for that I know that I'm involved with, that they aren't going to go with it, but they don't have the base that you have with respect to, your commercial base, which is what really, the Park 80 alone is really what drove your tax increase here.
Right.
So some of the other towns, it's mainly residential, and they're not finding the need for this. But from what your assessor said that night, he seemed to be very strong in favor of it, so.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else wishing to speak? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to close the meeting.
Motion.
Roll call.
Councilman Simaluka?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer? Councilwoman DiArminio?
Yes.
Councilman Accomando?
Yes.
Council President Camilleri?
Yes. Okay, we're going to roll into mayor, council comments.
Thank you, Council President. Our annual Police Department Memorial Service in memory of all our deceased Saddlebrook police officers was on Friday, May the 13th. I want to thank all who attended that ceremony, especially the families of our deceased officers. On May 21st, we had Armed Forces Day at the Saddlebrook Library. I want to thank the library for hosting that. It was a very good turnout, and our resident, Henry Ballone, did a great job and did a very informative presentation. We had a shared services flood meeting on Thursday, May 26th. Myself, Council President Camilleri, Councilwoman DiArminio attended, and we met with representatives from surrounding towns, along with Bergen County representatives, Tom Richards, Betsy Stagg. Also in attendance, New Jersey Assemblyman Tim Eustace was there as well. Council President Camilleri is going to elaborate more on what was discussed in that meeting when he speaks. Our Memorial Day Parade this past Sunday, I want to congratulate Phil Sergio, our Grand Marshal. He's in attendance here. Did a great job, Phil. Congratulations. I want to thank all who participated, especially the Parade Committee, our Fire Department and Ambulance Corps for holding their ceremonies in memory of their deceased members. The event was videotaped and will be broadcasted on our town TV and our township website and Facebook page. Yesterday, we had the Blue Mass at St. Philip's. The Mass was intended to honor and remember New Jersey police officers who lost their lives while serving and protecting their communities, and to thank and acknowledge their family. A very special thanks and appreciation to the Blue Mass Committee and St. Philip's for offering their church for the Mass. I also want to thank, we had some dignitaries there, our U.S. Congressman Bill Pascrell, New Jersey Lieutenant Governor Kim Guadagno, Bergen County Sheriff Mike Sordino, Bergen County Clerk John Hogan, some neighboring mayors, Councilwoman Flo Mazer, and Councilman Todd Accomando, who's also the Bergen County Sheriff's Officer, was in attendance. Lastly, we appreciate we appreciated it, the support that we received from our residents and parishioners at St. Philip's. Many attended. The event was videotaped and will be broadcasted on our town television, website, and Facebook. The upcoming events, the chief talked about the 300th pizza party. We also have a fishing contest on Saturday, June 11th at the county park, 8 a.m. to 12 noon. There's still time to register. You can contact my secretary, Christine. The primary elections are next week, next Tuesday, June the 7th. Polls open at 6 a.m. and are open till 8 p.m. Our town fireworks display is Sunday, July the 3rd at the county park. I want to thank the VFW for sponsoring the way they do every year. Also this year, the American Legion is contributing, and we're going to have an upgraded show. Regarding appraisal systems
We just had a very long discussion during, while the meeting was open to the public. I basically feel that this 5-year reassessment, I'm in favor of it. I want the council to know that. I think we should pass it. We need this proactive measure to address the problems that we're having with these commercial tax appeals. Our professionals, are recommending this method. And as I said during the public session, we have to rely on what our professionals say. Mr. Rodriguez brought up one thing about that the company that we're using was the same company that we had the reassessment. But you know what? The reassessment that we had, it was fine for the first couple of years. Then after that, the market dropped, the houses dropped, the ratio dropped. So I think we're comparing apples and oranges there. And I've personally spoken to mayors and different representatives that use this company and are using this method, this rolling 5-year reassessment, and they're very, very happy with it. Some are 3 years, some are 2 years, some just started, but you know what? It's a reputable company. So I feel strongly that we should go forward, and we are on a deadline. I don't like the fact that we're on a deadline, but based on everything I hear, this is the way to go. So also, our anticipatory bond rate. Good news, our township received a rate of 0.89 from TD Bank for the bond anticipatory notes, which basically what they are for the public that doesn't know. That's what's used. That's what town uses to borrow money and borrow funds for capital improvements. So this means the town can borrow at a minimal cost or rate of interest, which is a good thing. Lastly, a couple more things. Safe routes to school. Tom, our town engineer, is working with our grant writer and the school district, and we're going to be applying for a Safe Routes grant for construction of a bus pull-off zone on Cambridge Avenue by Smith School. I also want to congratulate all our Saddlebrook graduates at every level and wish them well in their future endeavors. And finally, happy Father's Day. No gifts.
Todd?
But like the mayor said, yesterday's Blue Mass was the second one I believe the township has done, and it's growing every year, and it was a great job by St. Philip's Church. I believe it was Bill Gantz. Bill Gantz. He does it purely out of the kindness of his heart. He goes out and reaches out to all these people, and I don't know how he has the time to do so. Thanks to the chief. Chief was involved in that as well. This afternoon, there was a child hit by a car. I just want to wish that child a speedy recovery. Congratulations to Phil Sergio for the parade. Well deserved. And happy Father's Day to all.
That's all, Todd?
That's all I have.
Did you have my gift for Father's Day?
It's in my truck.
Oh, okay. Karen?
I'd like to congratulate Phil Sergio as the Grand Marshal. I thought the parade was terrific. It was very hot. I'm still very sunburned, but also Flo Mazer for giving the scholarships each and every year. Great job. And I just want to mention that every meeting, there are those people that come up month after month to bash the council. They have nothing positive to say, only negative. Their goal is to disparage, condescend, and sometimes be disrespectful. I just like to say good things are happening in Saddlebrook. We as a council work hard every month for the best interest of our town. We have awarded we will be awarding the bids tonight for the bathrooms and concession stand at Veterans Field, and it came in on budget. We are working on our road improvement program, and that work is being started. In the 6th District, Phase 1 of the drainage program is being started with the $67,000 grant we got last year from Community Development. This year, we were awarded another $90,000, which will go towards the same project. Because of the ordinance we passed, the roads were paved in the 5th District from curb to curb by the contractor. 10 roads at no cost to the taxpayer. This saved us hundreds of thousands of dollars. We're looking at grants for the new Tricentennial Park at the corner of Platte and Saddle River Road. We are replacing pipes and upgrading our infrastructure. Work is being done all around town. A town picnic is being planned celebrating our 300th anniversary. It will be held in the county park on August 27th. There will be food, rides, balloon makers, face painters, a wonderful day for us to give back to our residents. I just want to assure all of the residents we are working for you all the time on your behalf. Saddlebrook really is a great place to live. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. I would like to just personally congratulate the 3 scholar recipients from Councilwoman Mazur. Again, these are all very good things that do happen in the town of Saddlebrook. My condolences to the Solenka family. And Chief Kugler, you might get a run for your money tomorrow with Samantha being as chief of police. And Phil, congratulations to you as well. I think the parade and all the festivities that day were just excellent. I would also like to thank and congratulate all the graduates at all levels. I have another one graduating high school. I think I have too many, but congratulations to the graduates. And I do want to touch on the flood meeting, which Councilwoman D'Arminio and the mayor was there, along with myself. It's a program that's out there. I want to try to sum it all up. What it does, we're trying to lower our rates for insurance for flood zone people, which includes myself. I do live in a flood zone. What happens is you start up here at a 10, and little things we could do as a community is going to lower that from a 9 to an 8 to a 7. We'll see how low we can get that. But along with that, it's a positive thing because it will lower our flood insurance rates, just to try to sum that all up. What else I have is let's all have a wonderful summer. It's here. Let's have a very happy 4th of July. And I guess I got to wait next year for my father's get a gift, Mayor. Thank you very much, everybody. Flo?
Yes. Regarding my scholarship awards, I did want to mention these other children, these other adults that did apply for it. It was a tough decision picking the 3 out of, I have an additional 11, I believe it was a total of 11. But I'd like to mention their names: Alexa Boofy, Nicole McVeigh, Ashley McVeigh, McKenna Winnie, Nicole D'Alessandro, Hanal Patel, Amanda Witowski, and Matthew Fox. They also did a wonderful job, and I appreciate them applying for it. And we do appreciate all your community service. Also, speaking of community service, I'd like to also congratulate Mr. Phil Sergio on being in the parade. And also, you're so active with Unico. We do appreciate everything Unico does for this township. I was fortunate I was able to attend the Blue Mass yesterday. It was a beautiful, beautiful ceremony. St. Philip's did an awesome job, and it was a solemn mass, but it was beautiful. Also, I'd like to congratulate Ms. Maniscalco. It's about time we had a female chief. Speaking of the picnic, I'd like to also thank Councilwoman D'Arminio for coming to my aid. She took the ball and she ran with it. We got the full agenda going, and we just got to pray for good weather. And what else do I have here? So Andrew has nothing to say. I'd like to congratulate all the graduates, right from preschool to grad school. Again, speaking of our students in this township, it's amazing. When you see their accomplishments, for being in such a small town, we've got an awesome group of young adults that are graduating, that are up and coming. We really should be proud of each and every one of them. I'd like to wish everyone a happy Father's Day, and look forward to seeing you next month. Thank you.
Thank you. The Memorial Day Parade, I was proud to take part of it. Congratulations to my friend Phil, who was the Grand Marshal, a very good choice by the VFW. He does a lot for the VFW. from Memorial Day, people don't know, or some people don't know, that although we're in the parade, and that's the chief thing that people see, there are also memorial services in Saddlebrook. We do honor the deceased members of our first responders. So I think at 9 o'clock was the American Legion, and we go there. 10 o'clock was the fire department, and they ring the bell for all of the deceased firefighters, which have to be triple digits at this point. At 11 o'clock, it's at the ambulance corps. 12 o'clock, the township has its own ceremony over right outside at our monument, and 1 o'clock is at the Korean War vets, and then the parade starts. So I was proud to be involved in all those. And on the next day, unfortunately, I was unable to make it, but the next day at 11 o'clock at Veterans Circle, there was the, an actual Memorial Day, was the service for the VFW, their own. Speaking of veterans, as Councilwoman Darminio stated, we did have a bid come in. It came in at a nice number. We talked about it the other day. Hopefully, we will be getting this done quickly. It's taken a long time, admittedly, but hopefully it will be done quickly. And I don't want to put our engineer on the spot, but we're all on the same page. I mean, there are 7 people, 7, 6, 8 people sitting up here, and I think we all have the same agenda. I'm bad at math. We all have the same agenda, and that is to get this thing built. It seems like it did come in under budget, and that's what, if you might have seen on the TV, Pete and I have talked about that just to confirm. I thought that the numbers were there, but I was just reconfirmed that we are under budget, and we have, whatever it is, we've got enough money to get this thing going at the number that the bid came in. So hopefully we'll get going on that quickly. And again, transparency, don't know if it's going to be ready for the fall football season. It doesn't seem that it will be. So whatever promises were made, and I may have made a promise, and I apologize, I thought this would be done earlier. For whatever reason, it did not come. As somebody said, government moves at a slow pace, a glacier-like pace sometimes, but we're getting it done. Speaking of glacier-like paces, we spoke to the mayor on Tuesday night. I said, where's my sign? And by my, talking about the towns, the dual-sided electronic billboard. Many times there are events that go on in town, and people say, I didn't know about it. Well, those same events are on our TV station, they're on our Facebook page, they're on our website. They're on the TV. They're on the SBTV, on the rolling billboard, bulletin board that's there. And sometimes there's even a banner across Market Street, and people still say, I didn't know about it. Well, unless you somehow live in Saddlebrook and don't go on Market Street, which I don't know how many people can say that, there's no excuse. So we want everyone involved. And the billboards or the bulletin board will present information and also talk about events and let everyone know about these events. So hopefully we'll have that up and running shortly. The mayor, Mr. Roy, and I attended a Access for All committee meeting, a group meeting hosted by East Rutherford, but presented by the County of Bergen a few weeks ago. It was very informative. I spoke to the chairwoman of the East Rutherford Committee, which is a very proactive committee. I am the chairman of our committee. And I was told, talk to her at your own risk. Very nice lady. But since then, I've received 10 emails, 4 texts, 7 phone calls about Access for All. She is very involved, and she did provide me with a lot of information, and we had discussed at that meeting potentially identifying people that may be at risk, people with special needs, and how do we find out about them? Well, they did send out a flyer, and there are 2 documents, and I'm doctoring it up so this way we can use it for us. But obviously, it's got to be vetted by the mayor's office. So and our committee. I'm not a one-man show. There's 15 members of our committee. So once that's presented to our committee, we'll present it to the mayor, and perhaps we can present that, and maybe that can go out with a senior newsletter. We can have it at town hall, we could have it at the hospital, we could have it at doctor's offices. This way people can, if they have special needs or they have information or requests, they can make it, because we can't reach out to every single person individually, but we can try and get as many people as possible to reach out to us. We'll talk about, this was the 800-pound gorilla in the room, so we'll talk about these tax appeals. I'm 100% in favor of it. We have a very experienced tax assessor who's in favor of it. We have a very experienced tax professional who's our auditor, who is in favor of it. And again, Mr. Wilcox, who's our auditor, originally was very skeptical, but read all of the information. Somebody talked about being thoroughly educated and researching, and he did. And he is now in favor of it. And we also, when we talk about we should get 900 quotes or whatever, I'm just being a little facetious, but get all these quotes, it's not that kind of thing. Another town has done our work for us. And in a different city that somebody who came up to the podium works for, the price that they got was $200,000 per year. And the last price, or the next highest price, was more than double. So it seems as if work has been done. There have been RFQs submitted, and another firm came in more than double. Why are we doing that? Why are we reinventing the wheel? Especially when we're up against the clock. If we don't do it within a week, and we're not going to do it, it's just impossible to do it. Let's say we just put it off, and we get hit by another large tax appeal. All this work is for nothing. So it's in the best interest of the town to get it done. We do the 100% of the town the first year, and then it's 4 years after that. Now, somebody said, well, why don't we just have a one-year contract? Well, a one-year contract, the guy, listen, these people make money. They need to make money, and they will make money. They're not in business just to give out advice for free. So if they were going to do it for 1 year, they charge us the entire thing up front. What they're doing is a reassessment at the normal fee of $375, but we're basically financing it for no interest at $75,000 a year. The statement made that it's going to be double is absolutely false. It's made on just false assumptions, because once you do a reevaluation, he said it goes for 10 years. It could go for 10 years, but it could also go for 3 years. If your ratio falls below a certain level, in 3 years, you might have to do it 3 times in a 10-year period. So now you're doing double or triple the work and the money. So that was just misinformation. When people have big mouths, they tend to talk out of both sides of them. So when we hear in one sentence that you can't compare us to another town, and then somebody comes up and says, Woodridge did this, it makes no sense. Everybody's individual, but you know that there is a basic scheme, or there is a basic, I'm trying to think of the word, and I'm at a loss for words, which...
Shocking.
No, yes. There is a method to the madness, and when you see other towns do things, they're not going to be exactly like Saddlebrook. No one's going to have exactly our tax base. They're not going to have exactly the same ratio of commercial to residential. But if it works, and Patterson is doing it, if it seems to work and Hackensack is doing it, we have the 2 county seats closer to us, they're doing it. Other towns are doing it, and we just have, and just so we know, and I'm not sure this was told the last time, in a South Hackensack, we're trying to close out the appeals. Well, South Hackensack went from 35 tax appeals to 21 by doing this. Little Ferry, 146 tax appeals to 46. Woodcliff Lake, 50 tax appeals to 13. Moonachie, 84 tax appeals to 11. Hackensack hasn't had any numbers yet, but we would assume, based on everybody else, that it's going to be a drastic reduction in the tax appeals. Now, again, and I said at the last meeting, when it was accused, and there was like this veiled accusation, again, finger pointing past administration. I said I don't point fingers, but I said I will get the information. Somebody said that if the past administration, they hid information and they didn't do anything, look at all the tax appeals that they left us. Well, when you do a little research, as somebody said, in 2011, when the past administration took over, there were 58 pending tax appeals, and some of them went back 4 years. They took over in 2011, and there were tax appeals going back to 2007. That administration ends, the new administration comes in. According to the new tax attorney, there were approximately 40. So is it too high of a number? Yes, but it's 1/3 less. So don't get confused when you just see people throw stuff against the wall and you say it's true, because it's not. There's 1/3 less pending tax appeals after the last administration. And again, this is not to throw flowers. This is just to try and tell people that when you see things on TV and people throw numbers out, as the mayor said, where is your, why is everyone a financial guru? No one's throwing around resumes with PhDs in finance here. It's just people saying things, and people tend to say it's true. I'd rather rely on our professionals. You have a tax assessor. 20 years he's been here. He wouldn't be here if he's not doing a good job. Believe me, we fired people before. We have an auditor who knows his stuff, and I have full confidence in our business administrator, and also Ray, our chief financial officer. Everyone is saying that this is a good thing. For somebody to come in, and if we say it's black, they say it's white. We say it's raining, they say no, it's clear. It's election year, people. This is what they do. On a more joyous note, I'd like to congratulate the Lady Falcons. We have tomorrow at Smithfield at 4 o'clock, there will be a finals game for our Falcons, the sectional finals. So best of luck to the Lady Falcons. Condolences, on a sadder note, condolences to this Selensky family and the Sedekes family. I did not know Ms. Selensky, but I've heard everything has been wonderful words about her. I did know Mrs. Sedekes, and she was a great lady. And again, condolences to both families. Happy Father's Day to everybody, all the fathers out there, and have a safe summer. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. Andrew, could I ask you if you have my Father's Day gift?
Joe, I do. I know you're trolling for a Father's Day gift, but if you come to the fishing contest, I will win you a Father's Day gift. I will have a minnow. You know what? I said I was done, but I'm not. This is what I do. This is what I do.
Opened up Pandora's
This is
box.
what I do. We talked the other day. The mayor's calling up the county for people who are attending the fishing contest. We are going to try and get it cleaned up as much as we can. They have been doing some cleanup. And just so you know that your words do mean something. As Mr. Willie came up here before and talked about that, he asked me about this problem, called the mayor, it was proactive. We got the sign up. Not working as well as we expected, but we did what we were asked. Lady saw that the Unico sign, which you see when we enter the town, was being hidden because they put up a telephone pole directly in front of a sign. So called the mayor. It was done the next day. We're cleaning up Market Street a little bit for the summer because Saddlebrook is going to be on the map. We've got our 300th anniversary. We're going to have the Unico Street Fair. It's going to be coming up. Before you know it, we're going to be having that township picnic. So like Karen said, Saddlebrook's a great place to live. It's a great place to raise your family. And there are the negative people that, for whatever reason, come here and only dwell on the negative. But people wouldn't be moving into Saddlebrook if it wasn't a great place. And listen, some of the people that come up here and bash, they've had family here for 100 years. It can't be that bad if you're sticking around for 100 years. Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew. Okay, we're going to move right into our resolutions.
All items listed with an asterisk are considered routine and non-controversial by the Township Council and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a council member or members so requests it, in which case the item or items will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. The one motion signifies adoption of all resolutions, receive and file letters, correspondence, reports, and approval of minutes and applications. Not part of the consent agenda, resolution number 11.
Motion?
Through Chair. Being I was not here for Tuesday's meeting, I don't have all the information. I would like to abstain from
Vote.
the vote for
15.
15.
We'll pull that then.
Yeah, we could pull that and just vote on that separately. But you were you here for the closed session, Todd? Not to put you on the spot, weren't you here for the close when they first presented it to us?
The month before.
It was the month before?
I was here, but I wasn't here when they asked all the questions. And got
Okay.
preliminary-
I mean, it's whatever you feel.
Okay, we'll pull. So we resolution number 11 and resolution number 15 will be voted on separately.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Samaluka?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer?
Yes.
Councilwoman Diarminio?
Yes.
Councilman Accomando?
Yes.
Council President Camilleri?
Yes.
Resolution number 11, payment of bills, Stonebrook Gardens.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Samaluka?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer?
Abstain?
Councilwoman Diarminio?
Yes.
Councilman Accomando?
Yes.
Council President Camilleri?
Yes.
And resolution number 15 is to Appraisal Systems for a rolling reassessment for a 5-year period, $75,000 each year.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Samaluka?
100% yes.
Councilwoman Mazer?
Yes.
Councilwoman Diarminio?
Yes.
Councilman Accomando?
Abstain?
And Council President Camilleri?
Yes. Okay, anyone with any old business, new business? You want to roll it into one, or
Voice will talk.
I rolled already.
Andrew rolled already?
I rolled.
Terrific. Mayor, anything, old business, new business? I mean,
I just want to thank Councilwoman Mazer for her scholarships. And those, all three of them seemed like brilliant, very
Smart choices.
nice young women that
It was tough, it
deserved
was
it.
tough to decide
Yeah.
between all of them, but a great bunch.
It's good that you do that. I'm actually considering doing that. So, just got to make that commitment. It's a tough commitment to make,
Yeah, it is,
But I respect the fact you've been doing it for a long time and you continue to do it. A lot of people, they'll do it for a couple of years and then drop it, so that's good.
All I'm saying is, remember when my kids were in high school? Joe, you could have made a fortune off this.
that's it, Mayor?
Yes, that's it.
Todd, any old or new you want to just discuss, or you
No.
good, or Karen, good? The only thing I can discuss real quick is new business. We are all on board with Veterans Field. It has been awarded. We're going to go ASAP on that, and it's going to be a nice project, too, when it's all done. We'll have state-of-the-art concession. We will have bathrooms finally, and kind of complete the facility. I'm excited about that. I still do coach rec football, and it is what it is. We'll work around it. We'll get it done. But I'm glad to see that kicked off the ground finally. Thank you. Love, old, new? Andrew, you packed up already?
I'm packed up already.
Okay, you just want to entertain a motion to open the meeting up to the public for agenda items only?
Motion.
Roll call?
Councilman Samaluka?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer?
Yes.
Councilwoman Diarminio?
Yes.
Councilman Accomando?
Yes.
Council President Camilleri?
Yes, the meeting is now open to the public for agenda items only. Anyone wishing to speak, please come forward. Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to close.
Motion.
Second?
Second?
Roll call?
Councilman Samaluka?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer?
Yes.
Councilwoman Diarminio?
Yes.
Councilman Accomando?
Yes.
Council President Camilleri?
Yes.
Through the chair, I
Yes.
just would like to say Happy Father's Day to all the dads and congratulations to all the graduates.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd lastly entertain a motion to close the meeting.
Motion.
Roll call.
Councilman Simaluka.
In honor of my friend Phil, no.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeArminio.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
Council President Camilleri.
Yes.
Meeting's adjourned.